旅はいつか終わりを迎える。剣女盤石。
Yo, what is going on everyone? Welcome to this week's live stream. We are streaming Genshin Impact today. So let's do some party setup first. Hey, hello, ciao bro. Good to see you. Are you ready for next week's patch for Sino? Who is this? Remelting effects. Dendro and Electro. Gotta inform you when I get him. I'm looking forward to everybody's good news, man. It's a new interesting character. I'll be sure to get him and do some quick showcase. But because that is a new character and has new materials, that will be pretty interesting. Need to refarm everything again. So good evening to you, Sister Ice Bear. Have you guys completed this event already? Honestly, now suddenly I'm actually pretty looking forward to the new patch coming because new characters, something new to play is always more interesting. But of course, the Dendro Archon herself gives me most things to look forward to, I believe. I haven't started yet. I see. Okay, so what is this? Current active character. Okay, so basically it's same thing actually. Or do I actually change up a bit? Perhaps I can try this. Do I actually need a shoe? I don't think I would die, right? Where is my traveler? Ah, he's here. Hey, let me see. I wanna be with you tonight, but gonna complete some works first. Hope I'll be back with your live stream soon. No worries, man. I always mention, really appreciate that you guys actually taking time off to drop by my live stream. It really means a lot to me. Wait, the mobs are all over. And goodbye and have a good night. Okay, thanks man. I appreciate. Thanks for dropping by. And come back later if you are free, man. Hey, wait, why is that guy in the air? I actually had a look at the, the forbidden data, I will actually say, which is those leaked data of Sino. It seems like we are still not able to get a full picture of his capabilities until when the Dendro Archon is out. That is at least the feeling I'm getting right now. Die! Ah. I'm excited for your Nilo showcase. I'm very excited about her, man. Honestly, although right now is the early stage, we don't actually have her live in the game, but I am I'm actually quite positive that even at meaning one copy of her at C0 with a full Hydro and Dendro team, I believe that you guys should know that she is locked to a Dendro and Hydro team for the Bountiful Blossom. Is that actually what you call it? The explosion fruit that Nilo generates. I'm pretty positive that she will be pretty powerful. Then of course, like I say, these two characters that are going to be released appears to be actually the early puzzles for the Dendro Archon. We don't know the Dendro Archon's kit yet. By right now, nobody should know. But I'm quite positive that they will actually, it's something like you invest into stocks like this. In future, they will get stronger and stronger. Then when you think about how Dendro and its resonance, all this, right? The general direction is actually about elemental mastery. One of the characters I can think of that will benefit a lot is actually Kazuha. Because more elemental mastery means Kazuha will also actually get stronger and stronger as well for his buffing capabilities. Because primarily, I believe that for those who use Kazuha should be well aware that the biggest value he has is actually his buffing capabilities. If we were to talk about gathering capabilities, all this, Venti still has the upper hand. And of course, we will need to see if for weapon banner wise, are they going to be nice to us this time round, that they will give us Sino signature weapon and also allergy for the end. Of course, weapon banner, being weapon banner, you guys have seen my last recent pull for the weapon banner itself. We knew that actually it didn't went too well, so I must still caution for players who are interested in pulling weapon banner, right? Please think twice. It's going to be risky unless you already have your budgets, everything ready. Otherwise, just go for the characters. C0 probably nowadays they are still going to perform pretty fine. Okay, wait, what is this? The guy just ran away. Ah,
15律流
天道
I lost my shield.
目くらましそれ有限なるライ
Okay, doesn't seem to be very well the score. Probably because I was so busy shooting, I keep forgetting to press the button T, which I have no idea what the button T does anyway. A key is locked onto that draw reaction. Yes, correct. But she's so pretty, and she actually do all the dance, all this and that, right? That alone is enough to convince me. You know, sometimes it's aesthetics over meta. This kind of stuff, you know, doesn't always have to be the most strongest character, because if I want to have strong characters, all this, I can always use the the existing characters like you know, the Undying Flame. I will actually call her, you know, Xiangling. She is forever usable. This kind of stuff that we say that is we call them the meta, all this, but sometimes we pull for characters that we really like in terms of how they look. Whether are they strong or not, as long as they are usable, it will still work out anyway. Spiral Abyss is not impossible to play. And the game is always not only about Spiral Abyss, it's also about exploration, all this, then that. Using the character that you like is always a fun activity to do. So what is this? Let me see the mobs. Current active. Oh, so actually I need to activate the buff. Gains crit damage. Oh, why not? Why not? Wait. Oh dear. Why not? I'll just go for this. Let me know, guys. Will you be pulling Sino, or will you be pulling for Nilo, or you want all of them to come home? What type of showcase will you guys be most interested in? Because that part is where are they? That part itself, I'm pretty interested to actually hear. Oh yeah, these guys keep charging into me. Okay. Okay, 5k points for a start, not too bad. Okay, I need to try to accelerate. Are you looking forward to Genshin anime? Oh, yes, because I actually mentioned that I watch anime very often. So, when they first announced during the 3x1 live stream that Genshin is actually collaborating with Ufotable, so you guys should know Ufotable actually is the anime company that actually made Demon Slayer, the Fate series. So I was really very surprised that wow, that is a really really big step that they are taking, because a lot of games, I know that some of the games they that come out is actually based on anime, like for example I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like for example you have the Fate Stay Night game. I don't know what is the actual game called, but it's actually based off the anime. But a lot of games that I played don't have the anime adaptation, which, like for example, one of the shooter games that I played is called Overwatch. They are really very fantastic cinematics, but we actually don't have a like a animated series. So sometimes if you actually watch before the character's storyline, a background from an animated series, then you will have even more understanding towards the characters and even a sense of attachment towards the storyline. So when Genshin actually took a step in this direction, I'm actually very supportive and really very happy about it, because this is the game that I have always been emphasizing that they have really very good storyline, and I have always said that this is a game that I will play for really very long, because I want to ascend to the Celestia, because I like the main storyline on how the traveler will actually go exploring and also meeting new people, discovering more of the secrets in the world, and eventually how the end story will be like. That is something I will really stick around and watch and also play. So they have this anime. I don't know how are they going to make it, but it is definitely something that I will see myself every single week, like staying tuned. Oh, okay, they have released the new episode for this week. Come, let's go watch. Are you guys watching? That's probably the type of attitude I will adopt, because you know, sometimes having a nice show is always a really good thing. So props to them, man, for taking this step, because you know the production cost, I don't think it's going to be any cheap, because it's a animated series. Then of course I hope that it will be a really big success as well. Then of course another thing I sincerely will hope for is it has to be as close to the actual storyline that we played as much as possible, because we know that there's definitely some there might be some differences here and there depending on how the people are going to interpret the story, the people who are making the anime adaptation. But happy, truly very very happy about it. There are a lot of very good, many good stuffs that we have heard from the live stream, because you know that every time they give us those kind of symphony, those kind of concert stuffs, all this, right, which is I'm a big fan of it. You can say that I'm a sucker for this kind of concert stuff, because I love music, all this kind of thing, and I always thought well of the Genshin music. So I'm having a similar level of expectations towards the anime as well. I don't think it's going to be free. If it's going to be paid, I don't mind. Of course, how much? I mean, if you were to say that if I need to pay to watch the anime, I don't know how much, if it's really going to cost anything or what. I wouldn't know. I can't speculate at this moment as well. But if they are going to do it, I mean, for me, I wouldn't really mind, because it's really something that I truly enjoy. So yep. that alone to me, but of course I hope that it's not going to be really very expensive, assuming that you are referring to the animated series is going to be a pay-per-view kind of thing, which I don't know. I have no idea how is that going to work out. Not the slightest idea, man. It's but I believe you have saw the animation shown in the teaser. So it actually features Paimon and also showing Lumin and Ether. Then we actually had a look at the landscape of the Tevat. If I believe that should be Tevat, and also showing the dragon spine. I actually thought the graphics actually looks really amazing. Then we actually started off. I can't remember. We actually started off the story as the two travelers actually flying. Then after that they met the unknown god. So I really wonder if the story, if the anime is going to be something like that as well. If it is, then cool, interesting. So, but meanwhile, I'll just hope that the 3.1 and the desert storyline will be actually fantastic. Because the storyline recently has been really pretty good, aside from it being quite a bit lengthy, but I don't think that is going to be a super big issue. Oh, that is the Mirror Maiden. No wonder it can actually withstand. Oh my god. Come on. Come to think of it, I should have used Venti right from the start, right? The second round, the score was actually not very fantastic. It's actually a bit on the lower end as well. Okay, but most importantly is getting the primos. So, this actually got me pretty interested to see if I'm actually able to get an even higher score. I actually kind of like this event because it's something related to combat. Combat events are always welcomed, but the need to actually press this T button, I keep forgetting the need to actually press the T button though. That is quite unfortunate. Oh, correct. The first stage I should not be using because they cannot be dragged. Because those guys are initially, they are actually charging into me. Let me see. I think the first round I should use 2 Hydro. I will try to use Yilan to actually to burst them. Ah, the time needed to set up is slightly long. Oh no, the shield. Wait, did I just saw like what 90k? Hello, where are they? Oh my god, this guy is thick. Oh shit, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, the score didn't seem to be as good as the first round though. Shit, man. Ah! Okay, that is. I'm too lazy to do the beast. I didn't actually spend a lot of time in the beast for the past week. As you can actually see that I didn't actually upload anything aside from clearing the last round of Abyss, because personally I'm actually quite interested in waiting until 3.1's release, which is on the 28th of September. Then that's the time that I will probably start releasing more videos again. But you will need to actually need to farm up those, I don't know what kind of bug you actually call that. Because I'm actually very keen to try out Sino. Wait, am I going to hit the air? Okay, fortunately not. God damn. Are you using Thundering Fury for Sino? Yup. That is what I initially planned to do. Then the weapon wise, I'll probably need to, because for the first round of the showcase we'll need to use a 4-star weapon. I'll actually need to see if I can use a what do you actually call it? Deathmatch. But I'm just a bit concerned if the energy recharge will be really an issue or not, because you know the energy recharge is not going to be low. That was actually my biggest concern, but I think I'll probably have to pair with excuse me. I'll probably need to pair with Dory, because for the energy recharge, you know.
見切りました風だ糸よ工作せよせたよやっほ稲光すなわち永遠なり
Because for Dory's case, she actually gives the energy recharge and also gives those kind of healing as well, and as well as the electro resonance. So it should be my priority choice.
無我の境地
And ideally, I would like to run Dendro characters along with Dory as with Sino as well. I mean.
風だ糸よ工作せよここより弱滅の時かかれ一緒に遊ぼうよ逃げようなんて思わないでよねどの目が出るか無我の境地
Okay, looks like there's a chance I can exceed the previous round of score. Even though the first round I didn't do too well.
橋風だ
天道万象
ここより弱滅の時ひゅっ逃げようなんて思わないでよね捕まえたかかれた糸よ工作せよ稲光走行すなわち永遠なり
Okay, it's just the first round score wasn't as good as I was hoping for, but there is improvement in the second and the third round though. Oh wow! I just didn't look at the chat for a while, and I can see that Kenny is here already. Hello, Kenny. Always great to have you here. Hey, hello, Tommy. Remember our activity later on, okay? Talking about the Thundering Fury is definitely a big problem for me, because we know that Sino's Ascension is critical damage. Okay, so that is not a polearm character. Probably I need to have a polearm character for illustration. Do I have any polearm? Okay, let's just use her as a illustration. We know that he scales off elemental mastery into attack, so ideally you will want good amount of elemental mastery on him, and also it appears that he actually survives very well with quicken aggravate reactions. So over here, looking at what I actually have for now, I do have some elemental mastery items, but unfortunately the big roadblock over here is always this, which is the circlet, because as I played the game for 2 years, I actually haven't get a critical rate circlet with critical damage for the Thundering Fury. I know getting the signature weapon for him actually solves the problem. You know, the signature weapon actually gives you 44% critical rate, but what about the initial showcase? So I probably have to go with a death match, which is the 4-star weapon that grants you 36.8% critical rate. That's probably the closest I can find. But I am unsure about how am I supposed to resolve the energy recharge issue. We'll actually need to have the actual gameplay to see if two electro characters together, how would they actually function? Will they actually function well enough to make sure that Sino is able to keep up with his elemental burst? Because this kind of because we know that Sino belongs to the extended burst type of character. You know, his burst can last up to 18 seconds if you were to continuously do, I don't know what you call that, the E skill, to extend his burst. So it's pretty different from Raiden, this kind of burst where it's supposed to only last about 7 seconds. So the longer the burst, of course you don't expect the, because they have to make it fair anyway. It cannot be when your Sino use his burst for 7 seconds, the amount of damage output will be similar to Raiden's 7 seconds. It's essentially unfair. So they will never make it this way. So probably for him, the developer's calculation is most likely similar to how much damage he is able to output in a total span of 18 seconds. And we know that in the game currently, there are no buffs that can last up to this amount of extended timing. So most likely you might see yourself using his burst for maybe, who knows, 12 seconds, 14 seconds. Then we will need to actually start to have a feel of, when you use Sino's burst for about 10 to 12 seconds at most, how much damage expectations are you expecting from it, and whose buffs is able to allow him to last that long. We know Dendro, at the moment what we have, we know that Dendro Travelers, this nuclear bomb icon, I don't know, it doesn't look like a mushroom to me, it looks like some nuclear explosion icon. It's 12 seconds, and if you have his constellation unlocked, it can last up to 15 seconds. So you are assured that, okay, there is at least a buff that can last pretty long for the constant aggravate reaction, because there is some Dendro reaction. Cole, for Cole wise, I can recall is about 9 seconds, but it's 6 seconds over here. I cannot remember. Oh, it's the Ascension ability. It can last up to 9 seconds. Then the other one that I'm talking about, which is Dory's burst lasts about 12 seconds. So you should not be expecting to use up to 18 seconds at the moment, until when we see how the Dendro Archons release. And of course you don't talk about Kazuha, because Kazuha is only 8 seconds. That is a bit too short for Sino at the moment, until when we can find out a way to see how that actually works. What is the minimum amount of crit rate you would advise for Sino? A general, I mean, outside they will always be telling you the 1:2 ratio. For my case, I usually won't talk about the 1:2. I will always recommend at least about 65% to 70% crit rate. Don't go too low, because if you cannot crit, there is no point in stacking all the critical damage. One very important thing that a lot of you should be informed and should be aware of is that there are a lot of showcases outside showing those kind of damage per screenshot. They might have about maybe 20 to 30% crit rate. Those kind of upper potential damage that where they have about 300% crit damage, right, probably takes more than 10 tries, 20 tries, 30 tries to make it happen. So probably they have 30 recordings and only that one recording looks good and they upload it. And this in general will give a very misconception to players that, oh, big PP damage is the way to go. But when you go and think about the consistent damage loss you have, right, for every hit you don't crit, right, you're actually losing really a lot of damage. And another thing that I saw which was pretty interesting was a player in the community was arguing with the other fellow players that talking about critical rate. This critical rate, taking this Ito as example, we can see that it's 75.1% critical rate. This 75% critical rate does not mean that every 4 hits, one of the hits will not be critical. It doesn't work like that. So vice versa, if you see that right now, for example, if this Ito has 25% crit rate, it doesn't mean that after not critting 3 times, on the 4th time I will definitely crit. It does not work like that. So I do believe that every one of you who is watching this stream should be well aware of this, but I just wanted to put across very clear that 75% is actually every single time when you perform an attack, there is a 75% chance you will crit, and it's on every single hit. It is calculated in this way. It is not on average 75% chance you will actually crit. So that is something you will need to take note of. So moving back to your question about right now, you mentioned I have about 63% crit rate and 180% crit damage with Primordial Jadewing Spear, and crit damage can go up to 210% with Sinnoh's Ascension. I thought it would be enough. I do think that 63%, if you strictly ask me, I will still think that still okay. Of course, can be better, but 63%, I still feel that is still acceptable. Because one example you can see over here for my Raiden, she's 64% and 175%. Of course, she still doesn't crit as much as I would love to, but at the very least, I'm still seeing pretty frequent critical hits happening. That's why I were to say when we talk about building characters, right, they will say about the 1-to-2 ratio, right? This 1-to-2 ratio is questionable because it is based on a linear calculation. I'm not saying it's not correct. The calculation, because maths, when they show you statistics, that is actually correct, the best 1-to-2 ratio. But the thing is, if I were to strictly go into the 1-to-2 ratio, let's say I have 100 crit damage, I only stick with 50% crit rate. You know, the crit rate is actually really on the lower end. So I would rather sacrifice crit damage for a bit more critical rate, right? So that I can get the bonus damage out, rather than hitting a lot of times and the bonus damage doesn't get out, you see. So I'm a bit different when it comes to this kind of crit rate and crit damage kind of advisors. How about the craftable Sumeru weapon? Well, craftable Sumeru weapon, I actually pay very little attention to craftable weapons. Actually, I don't even know what kind of craftable weapons are there. I mean, to be very honest, you don't really see me use a lot of crafted weapons, but we can actually take a look, because it's also a good chance for me to see, are there any critical rate weapons that can be crafted? Wait, what is this? Is there any? Oh, I don't even have the recipe for them. I believe that it is some green color weapon, right? I'm pretty sure it looks green. I do recall that I've seen it before. Okay, let me open it up. And let me see. You guys should be able to see what is on my. this suddenly feels like some kind of during workplace kind of PowerPoint presentation or Zoom meeting where I'm actually sharing my screen. But anyway, don't mind me on that. I just wanted to have a look with every one of you over here. I do believe that this should be the new weapon, right? The craftable weapon, which is elemental mastery that maybe Ice Bear was actually talking about. So you can see that it actually has a base attack of 564 and bonus elemental mastery of 110.26. And the affixed description actually says that after triggering all the dendro related reactions, this leaf of revival will grant the character 16% attack. Okay. Oh, is this the weapon? Or actually, are we actually talking about this? Hey, Ion, it's been a while. How are you? Hey, hello, Akira. Thanks for dropping by, man. Appreciate. Well, this one for 12 seconds. I have to pick up. I don't know. Has anyone actually tried using this Moon Piercer thing? You know why do I have some concerns over this? It's because picking up. You know, there is a existing set called the artifact set called the Arcade Petra, which actually is also has a similar concept, which is when you generate a crystallized reaction, those crystallized crystals, then you can pick it up. Picking it up with the one who is wearing the set has to pick it up, to be clear. Then it will actually give you the elemental bonus for a fixed amount of seconds. So in actual combat experience, sometimes right, it's a bit chaotic that I cannot tell where is the stuff to pick up, or I simply don't have the time or the opportunity to go and pick it up. So this isn't like something like Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 where they have this kind of pickup radius, increase your pickup radius, this kind of stuff. The pickup radius doesn't feel very broad, you see. Sometimes you have a Primo Jewelry Shop, huge, then the item just nice drop in between the mob's body and you cannot pick it up. You know, this kind of nitty gritty things that I'm not very fond of. So yeah, so I do not know this leaf actually how does it actually work and how does it actually look like. If you have any idea, feel free to let me know. But for my case, right, let's just put it, my opinion is Copium. If I really want a EM stuff, right, I will probably go for Dragon's Bane. If I really want EM, but of course, you know, this Hydro or Hydro Pyro stuff is completely not useful, because in Sino's team, probably if you want to maximize his damage, you should want to go with a Dendro reaction, which Moon Piercer is actually relevant, the effect. You wouldn't want to be playing some overload effect right at the moment, because you want teammates, you want a resonance to be able to give you more and more elemental mastery, so that your Sino actually can hit harder and harder. So far, you guys should be pretty much well aware that for Sino himself, okay, let's just try to quickly have a look at him, because he's coming out next week Wednesday, and I will need to go through the whole desert to find this scarab thing, you know, which is, I don't know where are they anyway. So over here we can actually see the ascension itself. We are actually seeing that his normal attack damage is increased by 125% of his elemental mastery, and this Dust Stalker bolt, which is during his elemental burst, this Dust Stalker bolt, correct, right? Dust Stalker bolt, which actually increased by 250% of his elemental mastery. So he is a character that you really need to have quite a lot of elemental mastery. We know that right now the base stats when he activates it, it actually gives you 100 elemental mastery. So what are the other alternatives you can actually get elemental mastery is through your Dendro teammates. We take out Dendro Archon because we don't know what is Dendro Archon's kit at the moment. We just say putting in Dendro Traveler and also Cole. So both of them form the Dendro Resonance, and also Dendro Traveler's Elemental Burst will slowly stack up to 60 Elemental Mastery for the team as well. Then with the Dendro Reaction, you will be able to get more Elemental Mastery. This also translates to Sino actually hitting harder. So that is at the moment what I think is actually will work well for Sino's team. But of course the best case scenario that I can think of is still to wait for the Dendro Archon, but we don't know how long is it, whether you want to invest or not. That is another thing, because nowadays we can already see from since the Inazuma period, right, where we originally talked about Yaimiko, which is still quite a debatable character, that whether she is good or she is not. But when we see that during the release of Sumeru, Yaimiko's damage is actually pretty significant right now, because one of her ascensions, if you remember, is the Elemental Mastery actually increased the Shiso Sakura's damage. So the Dendro team itself is actually helping her quite a lot. So we take for example, you can see that right now she has 162 Elemental Mastery. Okay, let me see, what are you saying? 2-piece Thundering Fury and 2-piece Wonder Stroke with EM seems viable, right? Not sure. Most people are considering Attack Sense. Let's just put it this way, that what I can tell you is, if you are holding his signature weapon, I mean, we just try to be as complete as possible. I'm not saying that you must pull for the weapon, the signature weapon or not. We know weapons banner can be extremely expensive, but let's just assume scenario number 1. If you have his signature weapon, which converts Elemental Mastery into bonus attack for him, then of course it makes a lot of sense for you to actually to go for Elemental Mastery Sense, because it actually has multiple effects. It gives him attack, it actually increases his normal attack damage based on his Elemental Mastery, so it makes sense. But for those who wants to actually use Attack Sense, it's not a complete invalid argument, but of course it also depends on what type of weapon are they using, because the 46.6% attack percentage coming from Sense, right, still scales off your base attack. If you are using a high base attack weapon, like for example, like you earlier on mentioned, Primordial Jade Wing Spear, which has, I think, 600 plus, correct? Where is my Xiao? Which has 674 base attack. 674 base attack, along with Sino himself having 318.11, 318. So we can roughly gauge about, he has about 900 plus, close to 1000 base attack. So 46.6% is still quite a lot. It gives you about 400 over attack. Then when you think about the other sources coming in, like you know, for example, does he have other Elemental Mastery conversion sources? We have this one. We have only this two, which is converting his EM into offensive stat. then the rest I don't actually see it. So the EM over here has lesser direct conversion value as compared to when you are holding his signature weapon. That is probably the reason why in general, for a more economic standpoint, people might want to go for, you know, attack sense. But when you are holding onto the signature weapon where it actually provides an additional source to convert the EM into offensive stat, then it makes sense for you to hold EM. This concept itself is very similar to whether Raiden Shogun is holding onto the engulfing lightning or whether she's not. For lower spenders or general free-to-play players who are holding onto the catch, you will actually use attack goblet. If my memory serves me right, you'll be using attack goblet because you don't have enough attack source, because you will be using energy recharge over here. That's for sure. You need the electro damage bonus conversion based on her passives, so you will put an attack over here. But when you have the engulfing lightning, which actually converts your ER into raw attack stats, then you can actually use electro goblet. The logic is pretty similar over here. Of course, how much of a difference over here, unfortunately I'm not a expert theory crafter. I am not able to give you numbers or stats to justify, but looking at how their kit actually works, right, I'm pretty certain that it is a very similar case of whether you have your signature weapon or you don't, then it will affect the type of artifact you are holding on to. But this should not be happening very often. So far we have seen is actually happening to Raiden Shogun, and probably Sino is another character that might be affected. It's simply to conclude into one point, which is basically how many active sources are converting the stat into another offensive thing. If there are not enough sources of conversion, then it's best to stick back to the original setup, will be better. Oh, alright, so 2-piece Gladiator and attack sense alongside a Primordial Jet Wing Spear or 2-piece Wanderer's Troop. At the very moment, right, I can actually tell you, because if you are considering to, because in my opinion, right, it is still better for you to go 4-piece Thundering Fury. So who is actually wearing Thundering Fury? I think she is, right? God damn it, she's not. Okay, let me quickly go through this. Okay, we know that Thundering Fury has always been famous for the cooldown reduction. That alone we know the cooldown reduction. So when you wear this, what does this actually mean for you? This actually means when you trigger a reaction, you can actually decrease the cooldown. When you decrease your elemental skill cooldown, this actually means what? A shorter window for you to generate energy particles. So as much as possible, because every player's account different, but as much as possible, if you can, try to wear the 4-piece. The more chances of you being able to trigger the E skill. Although over here the wording is what 7.5 seconds, is it? You'll probably be able to reduce a couple of seconds of this, allowing you to trigger it again. Because you need to remember that this skill actually costs 80 energy. And if you are able to generate faster, you can get your burst back faster, and also this increase your aggravate damage, because I believe that you most likely will be playing the quicken and aggravate build. But of course, we don't restrict this kind of gameplay that you say that you must play this or you must play that, but Thundering Fury actually allows you to play aggravate. So as much as possible, if you can, go for the 4-piece Thundering Fury. Hey, hello, Diablo. Keqing trash. I haven't C6 her, bro. I still hoping that someday I can C6 her, man. Okay, so moving back to what early on we were talking about, right? Probably in the first run before I actually published my video, I will probably have two versions of the run itself, which is my Keqing will firstly wear not Keqing, sorry, my Sino. My Sino will probably wear the attack sense first in the first showcase for Sino to see how much damage is he actually hitting. Then after that, I will probably swap over to the Elemental Mastery version to see if there is a significant difference, so that you guys can have a look and judge for yourself. How do you want to build? Because because if you are looking for a more free-to-play perspective or a lower spender, my most early showcase version 1 or 2 is actually the most appropriate type of showcase for every one of you, because you know eventually I will start to pull constellations, most likely. Then sometimes pulling constellation or pulling having the signature weapon will no longer be that viable as a reference for you guys already. So do stay tuned to my early showcases, but of course I need to go and pick up those scarab first. There's probably like what 168 of those scarab needs to be picked up. I don't know how big the desert is. Probably I will become so tanned and so hot over there. Okay, jokes aside, Keqing is good, just need to do damage. Alright, I need to work on more Thundering Fury. Yes, Thundering Fury right now at this very moment is my preferred choice. Of course, the new sets. What the hell do you even call it? I cannot even remember what is the new set, because I've been always getting rubbish out of that two new sets. What is their name again? Oh, Deepwood Memories, and the other one, the black one. What do you actually call that? Gilded Dreams. This Gilded Dreams probably tilts me for most of the part, because it's always you know, giving me trash. So whoever over here, if you are actually getting good stuffs out of this domain, awesome, hats off to you. Which I strongly believe that some of you definitely will be getting some good stuffs out of it. But the thing is that how am I going to get a good Dendro artifact? Sorry, Dendro goblet out of it. Because as of right now, I only have one Dendro goblet. Let's see in this run will I be able to get anything nice out of it. Let's watch it together, guys. Okay, so quick look, you can see that over here, right, with all the small reactions over here, you can see that my Yemiko actually has 565 elemental mastery already, which is actually increasing her damage pretty significantly, along with the aggravate damage. Okay, right now it has dropped. Let's wait for the buff to wear off, then you will be able to see how much raised elemental mastery my Yemiko actually has. Oh, what is this? Huh? What is this in HP? Okay, so you can see she has 162. Okay, I probably need to keep it more fair as well, because I'm using allergy for the end. Oh yeah, for players who, because I know that encouraging you guys to spend money on weapon banner isn't the best thing a content creator or a streamer will actually be doing. But for those who have the budget, who is comfortable to spend a bit more money and wants good value out of it. If the next banner comes out, the 3.1 banner is the Sinnoh's Spear and also Elegy for the End, consider to see if you want to get a copy of the Elegy for the End, because this weapon is really very good. It's seriously really worth your primos. It's one of the few weapons that has good multiple values, because it also gives you attack, gives your active character attack, gives your active character EM. Okay, so we switch over to Yamiko. You can see that without the Elegy for the End, right? That gives about close to 180 additional EM from all the reactions here and there. So I would say it's not too bad. Will you take the Sinnoh or the... I will take both. But how many constellation I will be pulling remains to be seen. Because I need to see how strong is Dendro Archon first. The Dendro Archon will have a direct impact on how many constellation I will pull for Sinnoh and Nilou. If Dendro Archon is really to be, let's say, T0 level, like for example, like Yelan, you know Yelan at C0 is pretty good. Then as you unlock her constellations more and more, she gains more and more supportive capabilities. Like this one helps ER more damage, this one more hydro application and more damage, this one whole team gets more HP, and also meaning more HP meaning more attack, you know. And the last one, she becomes a DPS. So every constellation has value. This kind of character to me is big value. So naturally I will C6. For some other characters which I don't see a lot of value, then naturally I will not invest that much on it. So Sinnoh himself, one thing is for sure that he is a DPS, and of course with some constellations on at the later stage, I think it's at C4, he is able to recharge energy for the team except for himself, so he gains a bit of supportive capabilities. But you know, he's an on-field DPS and an extended duration DPS. So for my playstyle, it's not always on the top of my priority to pull a lot of constellations, because DPS, this kind of thing, MiHoYo should, in future there are always better DPS in my opinion. But for a character that can be off-field and provide utility support, these characters generally are more deserving of my primos. Of course, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Sinnoh is not good. He's definitely more than capable to fulfill the role as a DPS. It's just that in terms of expectation wise, right, I'm not a person who will always want to invest a lot on on-field DPS unless they are a character that I really like a lot. Like one best example, like Hu Tao. Hu Tao is a on-field DPS, a pyro DPS. So you see that I actually C6R5 her. So this actually can tell you that, oh, I really like this character a lot. But in terms of value for money, that's not something I will usually do. But Nilou, this one, if you asked me earlier on, actually Icebear has actually asked about pulling for Nilou, right? That question becomes really very complicated, because I felt that the character looks really very nice. Although her gameplay, her intended gameplay, I would say, intended gameplay is niche, meaning she needs Hydro and Dendro only. But certainly feels that might be worth investing. But of course, yeah, I don't want to promise you guys anything that I will be pulling or what. I mean, I will definitely get C0, 1 copy minimum, and I'll do what I can to pull their signature weapon. Although the signature weapon of Nilu looks ugly as shit. It really looks like shit to me. You see that in their 3.1 live stream, Nilu is not even holding her signature weapon. You know that the developers themselves, they know that their weapon looks like shit. She's holding some 4-star weapon, if you guys actually pay attention to it. Hey, morning DiCaprio. Hey, sorry, gotta go. Meeting starting. Hey, no worries, man. If you are still here, thanks for dropping by, man. I always appreciate everybody's time on this. Okay, so about earlier on, we were talking about. So let me check with you guys. Let me hear from you guys as well. Are you going to pull for Sino, or are you going to pull for Nilu, or are you going to completely skip both of them, and you will just go ahead to pull for the Dendro Archon? Which one will you be actually doing? What? What you give me defense? King the flop. Ha ha ha, that bad. What kind of bad, man? Bro, welcome, man. Skipping till no, don't jinx me, Come on, give me crit damage, crit damage, okay? Crit damage. Okay. Okay, no, crit damage. The weapon is that bad. Oh fuck! Yeah, you jinxed me. Oh no! Oh shit! Okay. Oh my god. Ah! Okay, next. After enhancing this weapon, I will. Oh no! It all went into defense. I think I can call it a day already. I don't need to enhance really. God damn it! The Diablo is jinxing me all the way, man. Shit. So this is the weapon. It's a sword weapon. So I can't really pronounce. How do you actually pronounce this name? Key of Kach Nisut. Apologize if I got the name wrong. But anyway, Frostic, this is Defense Archon blessing you. Oh no, man, I don't want the Defense Archon unless I'm rolling for Ito's gears, man. So as you guys can see through the webpage right now, so this is the signature weapon. Okay, as far as we are concerned, that when you see the subset is actually health percent, then you can see that is HP, gain EM, all this. So it's very clear to us that this synergizes with who very well, whose kit very well. So the second question we will need to ask ourselves is, aside from the outlook doesn't match the intended character, can this weapon be used on other characters? So far at the moment, I doubt so. I don't recall any character that can really make very good use of this weapon effects. So it's not a very high value weapon unless you are intending to use Nilu. That is at the moment what I can infer from it. So Withering Waves. What is that? Withering Waves. Is that a sword or a pole arm or something? Anyone? care to let me know what is that actually? What is that supposed to be? Is that some new weapon or something? There are so many names to remember, man.
知識の価値っていうのは単純にお金で測れるものじゃない。
Oh, you're actually talking, or did you actually talking about a game? Is it? No, I didn't actually. After that week onwards, right? I actually fell sick. I was having a really bad wisdom tooth issue, so I wasn't in the mood for anything, man. Hey, bro, stop cursing me getting more defense, and it's not very easy for me to get. Holy shit, getting a crit damage, and oh my god, in the end that actually has to happen. I'm so sad about that. I need to refarm again. Have you done a 2-2 challenge? No, I have not been playing Spiral Abyss recently. So for this, the active characters gain this. I thought I might want to try to see if it is possible to get over maybe 20,000. Do you think that 20,000 score is possible? I must definitely try to find some way to make it happen. So probably I'll try the Venti way first. Tingnari backpacker character. What is backpacker? You know, the need to press this button key is kind of annoying for me, man. I keep forgetting that I need to press the button key. Not sure about what you guys actually think, but I do realize I keep forgetting about it. Okay.
逃げようなんて思わないでよね。頼むよこれアパ。裁きの雷。ここより弱滅の時。そこ。風だ。これならどうだ。逃げ道はあります。
Hey, fuck you.
無我の境地。逃げようなんて思わないでよね。芽生えよ。頼むよこれアパ。ここより弱滅の時。
Am I able to take food buffs for this event actually? That is something that I never actually tried though. Oh wait, the current round completed. I didn't even hit 10,000 though. What is this? Oh, there is hydro damage bonus as well. I completely miss out that part. There is hydro. So if there is hydro damage bonus, Dendro and Hydro. Okay, let's try out this part 2. Hey, wait, did I just choose Kazuha? Oh, shit. That's not what I actually intended. I actually intended to choose Venti. I forgot. Where are the mobs? Okay, here. Hey, so Diablo, have your computer fully set up already or not? Oh, okay. What was that damage? Where are they? Oh. Sometimes they die so fast that I didn't even realize it. Wait, what the fuck? Not like this. Okay, it looks like I definitely can hit the 20,000 mark now. Okay, so this is Dendro and Pyro. Dendro and Pyro. Let's see, Dendro and Pyro. Which one should I be using? Eh, wait, why is my Cole still inside? Okay. No, I'll definitely be going for the Pyro only. Wait, triggers. Oh. Spread bloom, blah 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 blah. Let's see what happens, shall we? Wait, what? Raiden and Yelan do everything themselves, others are decorations. God damn it. Ow, ow, ouch. This kind of multiple colorful effect is definitely pretty awesome to see. I love this. Hey, stop doing the Buddha clap, okay? god, why?
どの目が出るかしら。
ご助力を。
Okay. Oh, actually, none of the rounds I actually had more than 10,000 score, which is quite a pity though. Ganyu is better. The best Dendro character is Tabibito. I can quite agree with you because after this, when he has gone into the Dendro area, right, he's actually performing really very well. And I actually see myself, I think throughout the 2 years I played Genshin Impact for so long, right, this is the first time, right, I have actually used the Traveler for so long, so many times. I don't even remember I have actually frequently used the Traveler for many occasions. During the Anemo period, which is Mondstadt, because there's Venti, so there's no reason for me to use the Anemo Traveler. Then I recall after that, what you have actually Sucrose as well. Sucrose is fantastic. So I never use Animal Traveler. Then Geo Traveler. Okay, you have Zhongli, you have Ningguang. Of course, the Resonance, all this, you can still use Geo Traveler, but I see myself using Albedo more. So I never really make a lot of good use of the Geo Traveler. Then Electro Traveler, I think you almost never see me using because I was using the Raiden Shogun so much because it's the first Archon that really produces a lot of damage. So I was really very hyped when the first time when I saw the Archon actually can do a shit ton of damage. So I was extremely excited about it as well. So right now, Dendro. Probably because, I don't know, Dendro Archon hasn't come out yet. And we don't know what the Dendro Archon is actually capable of. So we shall see what she actually does. So current active character gains 110. So it's a Hydro Cryo, Hydro Pyro, Pyro Cryo. But currently, I still think the commonly used characters still pretty much revolves around the Hydro characters because Hydro has really seen themselves getting all the super recognition that needs, because the ancestor of the Hydro, we should actually put it this way, is actually Xingqiu, because he has enabled a lot of the team comps and he is almost always a staple character in the meta comps due to how powerful he is. Then after that, the stronger version has actually come out, which is Yelan herself. Then right now there are a lot of comps, freeze comps revolves around Hydro. Even your Chao International comp, you still need a Hydro to make it happen. Then of course Vape comps, Pyro's best friend is Hydro. So with Dendro's introduction, of course Bloom comps is definitely not a top priority. At least that is my personal opinion, because the seeds, they themselves don't explode instantaneously. They have a timing before they explode. The upper limit is 5 of that bloom seeds. So, but the upper comms, which is the hyper bloom, or even if you play the burgeon effect, still requires the Hydro to make it happen. So Hydro has actually really enabled a lot of types of comms. But who knows, when Ninu comes out, which provides a unique experience to the bountiful kind of bloom which explodes almost immediately, we might be able to see something really different. But that gameplay itself is entirely unique to Nilu's gameplay only, and when Nilu is not around, then of course bloom will still be similar, which is probably something, unless you go and play the current, you guys know that there is a bug with Barbara skill right now, right? Which is the water activation, which actually judges that the seed as a single entity, and it keeps generating more and more of the seed. So so this thing has actually been discovered by one of the I actually don't know who discovered it, but this thing has actually, MiHoYo is going to fix it pretty soon already, because if this thing actually happens, and when Nilu is released, right, she's going to break the whole game if they don't fix this issue. Hey, hello, 3 better than 1? Nilu, Candace waifu supremacy. Oh, if you're talking about Candace round, right? How she's very pretty. Have you actually seen her eyes? Her eyes is like 2 different colors, and she holds a shield. I mean, of course, part of me, playing some of the other games, like for example, if you actually play like Diablo series, right, like Diablo, but Diablo 2, Diablo 3, there is a skill called skill bash. And even if you play the other game called Overwatch, there is a healer character called the Brigitte. It's also there's a skill called shield bash. Actually, when I first saw her, right, Candace, I was actually hoping that because she has a shield, right, will she be able to produce some kind of skill bash skill or not? But apparently, doesn't look like the case. But hopefully in future we might actually get something like that. Then it will be really very cool. That is something that I hope for, which who knows, maybe in future. What server are you on, sir? I am on Asia server. So if you are actually playing on Asia server, then if you would like to actually have some co-op games together, do feel free to let me know. Wait, what?
一緒に遊ぼうよ。捕まえた。この仕事は排除するべきですね。風だ。ご助力を。終わりで。撤収。やっと。よっ。部外者禁止。瑠璃のように落ちなさい。足元に気をつけて。逃げようなんて。
Oh, what the fuck just happened? Oh, it's a Jovi Sharps. Okay. Fine. And you can see that he's getting angry now. Oh, I didn't actually put on the what do you actually call that, the energy recharge bowl onto Ganyu. Then her energy recharge actually cannot keep up at the later part where they actually have 2 of those Jovi Sharps. Hydro. Okay. So it actually also says about Pyro. Oh. Hey, wait, but if I were to... yeah. Let's do it this way. Oh, but yeah. These are all small mobs though. It's such a waste trying to dash through them, man. No, I think no, I'm still just going to venti the shit out of them, man. Using venti against small mobs is actually GG easy. It has always been the case like this. Okay, so having venti to get all these guys up is always still the easiest job. Okay, so the last part. So this actually states pyro damage bonus and cryo damage bonus. Pora! Thanks for the donation, bro. I appreciate it. If you next week, if you are getting Sino, be sure to let me know, man. I look forward to your videos on how you actually play him. You know, you've been sharing some of the videos with me, right? I do actually watch them. wait, I'm using the trial Ganyu. Wait, I'm not using my own Ganyu. Oh, okay. Since when did I actually click on the other Ganyu?
捕まえた。終わりね。撤収。花火に。
I actually don't even know what does the trial Ganyu actually is wearing, man. I didn't even check.
君のために。痛がっちゃいないの。かかれ。どの目が出るかしら。言ってるぜ。
いざ天理チョーク
Oh, but this Ganyu appears to have pretty decent energy recharge, right?
この仕事は排除するべきですね。かかれ。どの目が出るかしら。言ってるぜ。
Alright, so 3 stages I managed to achieve 10,000, but of course this was primarily because of Yelan. You know, the C6 Yelan effect is actually completely broken. Yelan very stolen. She's just broken. There, I mean, for if you have seen how I've been pulling for characters, you see some characters I don't pull constellation. Then some characters I actually pull constellation during their release. I don't openly because I don't make guides. But if you need some insights on what type of characters do I actually think that they are very strong to invest on constellations, you can actually see what type of characters I actually invest to pull on. It will give you an idea what do I actually think, whether is it worth your money to go and pull for their constellations. One of the, I mean, of course, for Yelan's case, right? I mean, we already know for years, Xingqiu is just damn strong. When Yelan was first released, we were still kind of skeptical because her hydro application wasn't as comparable to Xingqiu. Xingqiu still has a higher hydro application rate due to the orbiting swords and also the 3-4-5 application of the hydro swords at C6. So if we were to take out the C6 equation of Yelan, we just focus on up to C2, which is the pretty good spot that I would say for people who want to invest her. The thing that Yelan has to offer for you, right? Lower for sure, lower hydro application rate, but still okay. But what she has to offer you is a lot of damage, because this 14% of Yelan's max HP as hydro damage that can trigger every 1.8 seconds is actually a lot of damage, because you know Yelan has a lot of hit point. Then of course for this one, which increase your active character, all of you by now already know Yelan, how good she is already, so needs no introduction. So when she rerun, if you actually have the Primo Gems, invest in her. I seriously will recommend you to pour in some Primo Gems to try to get her. I mean, aside from the new Dendro characters that you want to get, if you have spare budget, try to get more constellation for Yelan. At least up to a C2 will be pretty comfortable. Even the C1 is actually very nice, because the E damage of Yelan is actually no joke, you know. It's actually pretty big And in the overworld, you can actually travel quite fast using her, using the 2 charges as well. Weapon-wise, is always very tricky for anyone to advise you because it's very sensitive to be openly encouraging people to go and pull for weapon banner, because I can give you one rough estimate that if you lose, okay, because I'm from Singapore, I can tell you in terms of Singapore dollars, if one weapon from count 0 all the way you pull until soft PT go and you lose 2 times, and on the 3rd time, which is, you know, the PT, right? That means you pull 3 times 70 approximate there. That will cost you close to 400 Singapore dollars. So I don't know, for like for example Diablo is what, Brazilian real, or maybe for my fellow Filipino viewers who is using Filipino peso, I'm not too sure how does that actually translates to, because everybody currency in terms of what you buy from the shop might be different as well. So that is why generally it's very difficult for me or even other people to tell you, hey, go pull for this weapon, pull for this weapon. But honest, I mean, I just want to be very honest with all of you, right? If you really want a strong character, OP character, give it your all to Yelan. At this very moment, before Dendro Archon is out, I will still say that Yelan is worth your money. Until when Dendro Archon is out, most likely you need to prioritize on getting Dendro Archon first, because Archon being Archon, they are most likely very, very strong. Just how many constellation you want to get. But of course, do take note that this game you can completely clear everything with C0. Is when you pull, it's just because you want to have the feel good factor. Because who doesn't like to see big damage? At least in my opinion, when you see your character hitting 50,000, 100,000 per hit, there's a feel good factor. But of course, it comes at a cost of money, you know. So yeah, that is my from the heart very, very open statement that I can share. But of course, don't take my statement to say that I'm openly encouraging you all to go and gamble, because this actually costs really a lot of money. So have to exercise a lot of caution, especially on the weapon banner. Okay, must be saying something important. Yelan is OP. Yelan is really damn OP. We play this game for so long already. We know that there are characters that, like for example, last time we saw, Eula hit 1 million damage. Yeah, we know Eula can hit 1 million damage, but when we talk about the massive burst damage and being able to support, so far not a lot of characters. I don't even recall how many characters can do what Yelan does. But we are talking about Constellation 6 Yelan, who is able to become a DPS on her own. But when she doesn't have a Constellation 6, we talk about value for money support. Constellation 0, Constellation 1, Constellation 2, very strong, very, very strong. And now Hydro Resonance also gives you 25% extra hit point percent, makes her even more stronger. And if you already have Hu Tao, or if you go with Iomiya, or even you go with Raiden Shogun, just damn good, just very strong. So I have to be honest that I really think she's OP and she's worth your money. So pull it if you can. It's something similar to like getting a Kazuha in your team like that. He doesn't have the kind of big gather skills like Venti, but he's a super buffer, you see. And if let's say I give you one situation that if Dendro Archon belongs to the type that can buff your team's elemental mastery by a few hundred and can buff for very long, and Kazuha doesn't interact with Dendro, we know that, because Anemo and Dendro no effect. This means that if I were to this means that I can very specifically target the soul element that I want. And if Dendro Archon gives a few hundred elemental mastery, that means that Kazuha is going to soul even harder. Kazuha is going to buff even harder. Which one is it? It's based on the 0.04%. So Kazuha also stand to gain. This kind of character has very long-term value. When new characters come out, they become stronger. They kind of gain some benefits. So if the first time Kazuha came out you didn't pull, okay. Second time when Kazuha come out, you decide to pull already, good choice. But if you didn't have enough primos, lost the 50-50, and wait for the next time. I don't know which new animal character they will be coming out, but for now, this guy still worth your money, and plus he's very cool. So yeah. 叶然胡桃 combo perfect, a beast easy, physical damage exceeded. Right now, if you play physical build, even let's say we use the strongest physical attacker, which is Eula, it's just disadvantage because most of the mobs, a lot of mobs inside we see Ruin don't know ABCDEFG, I don't know what is their name. I can only remember Ruin Guard and Ruin Grader, this kind of. There are too many different flying models right now, as if they are different kind of. I don't know what the Kanria people are doing. They design so many kind of. Next time maybe we can see some spaceship or aircraft carrier kind of Ruin. I don't know. I don't quote me on that. But they all have like what, 70-80% physical resistance. Magyu Kenki also has physical resistance. I don't know the latest chicken has physical resistance or not, but a lot of times being a physical attacker, the odds are against you, man. So me, who is actually quite a solid fan of Eula, I don't have a good chance to use her, you see. So in this kind of case, I don't know when physical teams will see their rise again, which is slightly sad. It's pretty sad to put it this way. So right now probably we will see. We know that Burning is also not performing extremely well. Still can play. Burning still can play, but not as fantastic as something like Aggravate, Quicken, Aggravate, and Spread, or even Hyper Bloom, because the Hyper Bloom and Burgeon has a higher multiplier than Overload and all this. So we shall see next week, Thursday, during my live stream on the 29th. That is after when the 3.1 has already deployed. I'll already have Sino by then. Then during my live stream, hope that if you guys are free, feel free to drop by to let's explore together to see what kind of team we should be using Sino together with, and also let's explore together on the new desert area to see if we have any interesting things to share. If you have good pulls, if you have fantastic luck, 10 pull 2 Sino, be sure to share with me. And also hope to see you guys next week as well. Physical is not exactly like you can't play them, but it's just you are at a natural disadvantage because the mobs default comes with very high physical resistance. You can still play, you can still 12-star a beast with physical characters, so no problem, you can still do it. It's possible, but it's just you need to put in more effort compared to using other teams. That is just a significant difference. They both can give you the result, it's just that one needs to play harder and one requires lesser effort. That is the fundamental difference. Rosaria wear pantyhose, so she is Rosaria has a boobs nerve, you know. Initially when Rosaria first came out, do you still remember how she looked like versus now how she's the character that got nerfed physically. Truly physically she got nerfed. Okay, jokes aside, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week's live stream, and also hope you enjoy some of my insights and analysis on the characters. next week we will be moving on to the 3.1 patch together, and we will be exploring Cyno's builds, Cyno's gameplay, and also the new desert area. Feel free to share with me your insights as well. I look forward to hear more from you, as well as if you have any fantastic polls. I look forward to your participation. And once again, thank you. Shout out to everyone over here who has specially taken time off to join this live stream. And also thank you so much, Diablo, for your $3 donation. I appreciate it a lot. Additional special shout out to all my channel members. Thank you so much for your consistent support. I truly appreciate you guys know who you are. And last but not least, may our love for Genshin Impact continues, and the new anime with Ufotable, I truly hope that it will be a big success. So once again, if your day is starting out, I wish you guys a beautiful day ahead. And if your night is coming to an end, I wish you guys a good night's rest. This is IonStorm. See you guys next week. Signing out. Good night.